So, bounding into comics article, all female Pirates of the Caribbean. Why are they doing this? One, they think it'll sell. Two, ideology. Or three, they want to destroy what you love because they can. Oh yeah, and join me on Parlour, which is kind of like, I don't know, Twitter, I guess, for the free speech crowd. You can get a burner phone, or you can just get a burner phone number and use it on your cell phone if you need, because you need the number to sign up, and you probably don't want to use your real number. Now here's the thing: a girls' Pirates of the Caribbean could work if you had a bunch of sexy bitches running around in skimpy costumes. If this was filmed in the 90s, it definitely would work. But it's 2020, which is 1984, where every day is 451 degrees out, where we tear down statues and burn history books because we live in the eternal now. Yesterday's history is whatever our masters say it was. We were always at war with Oceania, whatever. I'll save that stuff for Bitchute, where it definitely does better. Bitchute is... YouTube is, 1,000 times larger than Bitchute, so your growth on YouTube should be 1,000 times larger, except it's not, because Bitchute doesn't suppress content, but YouTube does. Anyway, so if I'm going to see a movie about girl pirates, I want to see tits and ass. I don't want to see Ghostbusters. You get 4 frumpy, unfunny moms in jumpsuits. And I didn't hate Ghostbusters. I thought it had potential. But the try-hard lesbian girl has got to go. And why is the giant lady a stereotype? Why can't the black girl be the engineer or the physicist? Whoever wrote that movie should be cock-slapped. So I don't think a female pirates will bomb like so many other girl films. You could have Johnny Depp and his crew do battle with a rival female pirate crew, and it might work if you kept it light, fun, and a little bit naughty. You know, I wonder what films will be like in this brave new world. Bad. They're going to be bad, because something is going to offend someone somewhere. At first it seems like a parody, a Saturday Night Live skit about people sensitive about pronouns, race, religion, political affiliation, how everyone needs a safe space, but Saturday Night Live won't lampoon it because most of them either believe it or are too scared to speak out against it. I read Sarah Silverman's book, I forget what it's called, but it had P in the title. She's kind of gross. Where she was talking about her time spent writing for them. They never actually used any of her skits and eventually fired her. The writers were mostly super wealthy, privileged graduates of Harvard and the Ivy Leagues. They were 100% far-left liberal whack jobs. And actually, the guy she stabbed in the head with a pencil during a meeting that went on to be a congressman, Al Franken, but then because he sexually abused a soldier, he was canceled. There are no brakes on the cancel culture train. I guess it ends with people just giving up on social media for anything more than birthdays. Maybe people will go to parties and have to leave their cell phones in their cars. In Russia, it used to be a knock at the door at 4 a.m., but now it's the email that you've been fired, your spouse is fired, and your kids have been expelled. The only solution is for people to segregate themselves into echo chambers with people that they trust, people who think exactly like them. Turns out South Park was right all along. How prescient of them. They were about 5 years ahead of the curve. What this woke revolution means is no movies that don't meet with the political commissar's approval. Take it one step further. Why have female pirates when you can have trans lesbian pirates? Oh yeah, and make them black, obese, and Muslim. Because it never ends. All movies will just be about how evil blonde men are, which is 90% of movies. Now, every movie is just going to be Wakanda. If you think I'm joking, think about films you have seen over the years. Many of them aren't politically correct nowadays. And I don't mean films from that far ago, and I don't necessarily mean the obvious ones. Think about this. Could you have a film about a POC who commits a struggle snuggle? Even the POC gangster films of the 90s, they were portraying POCs as drug dealers and pimps. How would you make that movie now? Let's take a gander at CBR. The WWE reportedly fires 2 wrestlers due to assault allegations. That's all it takes to get fired is an allegation of istophobia or some sort of untoward behavior. Due process is just out the window. As more allegations surface, reportedly dismissed Travis Banks and Legerio over accusations from female wrestlers. Okay, after a few weeks of faced allegations, many of its stars, which I imagine it's a scummy industry, a bunch of coked out, steroided people out on painkillers and just like one long party. Pressure is continued, reportedly fired 2 wrestlers from the UK division. Simon Musk, a.k.a. Legerio, and Travis Banks were rumored to be fired over the allegations. Just, that's it. That's all you need. So it turns out the comic book industry is full of perverts and degenerates. Wow. Who didn't see that one coming? Writer-publisher allegations. He asked her for nude photos. Well, you just don't have to send them. And sent sexually suggestive texts when she was in her late teens and early 20s. Okay, so you're saying you're over 18 is what you're saying. You're an adult. You're an adult speaking to one other adult. That's what's going on. You're not a child, though. It's like these people regress to childhood all the way up into their 30s. It's fucking bizarre. I've never seen so many immature people. I guess it comes from women putting off having kids. Like, my grandparents had kids when they were 18 or 19 maybe. They were fully functioning adults at 19 with kids and great-grandparents. But when you get, like, modern women now having kids in their 30s, that means they're a child, or they want to be treated like a child until they're in their 30s. And even if they say they don't want to be treated like a child, if you dare do something that offends them, then they'll mention... they'll mention their age and use it as a weapon. It's like, you're an adult. You're not a kid. If you're in your early 20s, you're very, very much an adult. You should know how to set boundaries. And, I mean, if something illegal happens, then, call the cops. But other than that, you need to set boundaries with people. Okay, so they're portraying it as if he's grooming a child. I mean, I won't say it. Where's it going with this? Okay, all it takes is the mere accusation. And so he's whatever company he's writing for now. He's writing for shows or something. I'm sure he's going to be released because that's all it takes. It's just a mere accusation and no due process necessary. This is all happening so fast. And you know what this is? It's mass hysteria. Someone said that on Twitter, and it's absolutely right. It's just mass hysteria. It's Taliban and ISIS tearing down statues. It's Mao's little red book and 5-year Great Leap Forward and struggle sessions. It's all repeating itself, but it won't be as successful for many reasons, because China was China and Russia was Russia, and they were full of Chinese people and full of Russians. And this kind of stuff's not going to work in a diverse society. You're just going to have people self-segregate among people who are, how do I say this? You're going to have people who self-segregate on the same arbitrary divisions of wokeness or oppression. What I'm trying to say is you're not going to have mixed ethnic groups, because one group will always have the upper hand, and they will always be able to accuse you of something. Like if you had a group of one ethnicity hanging out together, well, there's no sting behind the words if they accuse somebody of oppressing him. If one Irishman accuses another Irishman of oppressing him and marginalizing him, it's like, okay, it really doesn't matter. There's not a whole lot of sting between it. But if it's someone else from a more protected class, there can be actual harm resulting from that accusation. I mean, financial, getting fired, getting your kids expelled from school because someone accused you of politically incorrect thought or offensive thought or something, anything. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is people are going to, I guess they're going to learn maybe diversity is not so hot after all. I think you're going to see people hanging out in very, very tight groups of people they know and trust, and I think they're all going to look alike. And these people, these liberals who, it's like they seem to champion all this diversity horseshit, and then you look at them and they're some San Francisco wine party where everyone looks exactly the same. Like, where's your diversity? Diversity? But then you have the normal group of people like my group and other groups who are just normies, and we are all mixed, and we all say offensive things, all of us, and it's not weaponized against us. Though maybe that'll change in this brave new world, and you'll see less and less. I don't know what to say. I mean, you've got like there's always a black guy in the crew, or it's always in California, like it's always going to be a mixed race crew. And the thing is, the people on the right are more mixed than the people on the left. Like when I talk about the San Francisco wine party, a bunch of, 30, 40, 50-year-olds sitting around smoking a J and drinking expensive wine, they all look the same. And they're all on the left. Like if you're in San Francisco, 66% of them are far left. But you've got like normal people who are on the right, or there's like mixed groups of people on the right and the left, and it's mixed ethnicities, and people are saying very, very offensive stuff, but it was just, you just tuned it out, you ignored it. It's like that was the price to have a friend with a different belief system than you. There's going to say offensive things. You ignore their offensive comments because they ignore your offensive comments. Anyway, it's like even saying this on YouTube is so, I'm just couching my words so carefully. Bitchute is, see, up until a couple months ago, I would have said Bitchute is just, it's just not going to be an alternative platform until YouTube gets so difficult for people. But now I see Bitchute growing very, very quickly. So, I don't know. And I see Parlour just blew up overnight, which is kind of suspicious, actually. And the guy who runs Parlour, I'm on Parlour too, BiancaFights the Zombies. The guy who runs Parlour is begging for left-wing voices because he said it's just full of right-wing people. But allegedly it's a free speech platform. The only thing that they do censor is there's nothing adult. I mean, in like a prurient way, that kind of thing. Anyway, so this producer wants to race and gender swap for DC characters. Go for it, man. Go for it. You want to take it out of the 40s and 50s? Fine. We just burn it down. I don't fucking care about these people anymore. Related, the Flash star Candace Patton endorses the idea that white privilege comes from generations of erasure and genocide. Here's the thing. You're not guilty for what people did earlier. What prior people who vaguely look like you did. And that's the thing I keep hearing about these people in America now. They're talking about like the history of America. Well, most of us are very recent immigrants. We had nothing to do with the settlers and the original Americans. We're like 2 or 3 generations deep. We came post antebellum? No, postbellum? Post Civil War. Had nothing to do with it. It's just not our bag. It's like you're trying to make some Irish guy or some Russian guy feel guilty for something not only he had nothing to do with, but his ancestors had nothing to do with. It's just not working. It's like, I think a lot of these people think that America... Oh, I'm going in a weird direction. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.